You ever realize you're in danger after the doors are already locked? That's what this part of my life felt like. Like waking up in a room you didn't know was a cage until you tried to leave. After I found that email from the divorce attorney, something inside me cracked. Not loudly, quietly. Because when the person you trust the most looks at you like you're imagining things, your brain starts turning on itself. I didn't confront Evan aggressively. I didn't accuse. I asked questions, calm ones. And he answered like a therapist. Soft voice, relaxed posture, zero emotion. He said things like, "You're stressed lately. You've always been anxious. I think you're projecting." That word, projecting, messed me up because suddenly I wasn't reacting to his behavior. I was defending my sanity. I stopped trusting my instincts, stopped pushing back, started apologizing for things I didn't do. If I felt uncomfortable, I told myself I was being dramatic. If I felt scared, I told myself I was tired. That's how control works. It doesn't break you, it convinces you to break yourself. One night, Evan said something casual, too casual. "Why don't you take a break from work for a bit?" I laughed at first. He didn't. He said, "You're always stressed. I've got us covered." Here's the thing. When someone sounds calm and confident, you start confusing it with safety. I took unpaid leave, then extended it. Then my position got restructured. Just like that, my income disappeared. It wasn't sudden. It was surgical. Joint accounts replaced personal ones. Statements went digital. Passwords changed for security. Credit cards linked to his email. Every time I asked, he said, "Trust me." And I did. Because trusting him was easier than admitting I was losing control. That's when fear entered the picture. Not panic. Fear with manners. The kind that whispers, "What if you can't survive without him?" I started measuring my words, watching my tone, avoiding conflict, because I didn't feel like an equal anymore. I felt like a liability. One weekend, I tried to plan a visit to my parents. Evan said, "That's not a good idea right now." I asked why. He said, "They worry too much. It'll just complicate things." That's when it hit me. I hadn't spoken to my friends properly in months, hadn't made a decision alone in even longer. My world had shrunk, and he was the center of it. One morning, I tried to transfer money. The app denied me. I refreshed. Tried again. Nothing. I asked Evan. He didn't rush to fix it. He said, "We talked about this. I'm handling finances right now." I don't remember sitting down. I remember the floor feeling closer than usual, because that's when I realized something brutal. I couldn't leave. Not easily. Not safely. Not without his permission. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I smiled. And that scared me, because when fear becomes quiet, it means it's settled in. I started secretly documenting everything, dates, emails, screenshots, because I finally understood the truth. This wasn't love gone wrong. This was a slow financial chokehold. One night, I asked him directly, "Did you ever plan to leave me?" He paused, not because he was emotional, because he was calculating. Then he said, "Why does that matter now?" That sentence still haunts me. Not denial, not reassurance, just dismissal. That's when the mask slipped. Just enough. A week later, without warning, I got a notification on my phone. Filed 2 weeks earlier. He had already moved, already prepared, already decided. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't reacting to the divorce. I was late to it. Because Evan didn't just plan the marriage. He planned the moment I would be powerless.